Hello, everyone. It is your boy, CALMO, and welcome to another episode of the CALMO Conversations podcast with your one and only host, which will probably never have another guest, CALMO Ho. And today we have a different subject at hand. This is something I can't really relate to because I'm not social at all, but I have had attempts at this, and this is asking out Wamen. And this is a delicate art that most of us oppressed gamers and men in this society struggle with because most of us are either have crippling anxiety that prevent us from actually talking to women at all, or there are some of us that are just too scared to do it, even though it'll just turn out just fine. And I have had this experience, and I think I've had, let me think here, two of them, or maybe three. The third one's kind of a small one, but I've had about three experiences with asking out women, and none of them went well at all. I guess the third one isn't really asking out, but it's more of asking to dance, particular. Junior high, so sit your little keisters down and listen up. So the first one, I think it was about, I think seventh grade, and there was this girly I really liked. I will not mention the name because I'm such a gentleman that way. Ladies, hint hint. So what happened is I really liked this girl. I thought she was really neat, and some of my friends know who she is. And yeah, they gave me a bad time over this. So I really liked her, and me being the seventh grade retard that I am, I didn't know how to ask out a woman properly. So what I did, this is the worst thing I've ever done. I got a piece of notebook paper, just a simple piece of notebook paper, and and I wrote down how I liked her, and if she wanted to be, oh, my girlfriend. Oh, that was bad. I just went straight to the point, honestly. And she was in that class hour, and as I was writing this, she sits about, I'm not sure where she sat, but she was pretty close to me. She was in that hour. So after the hour ends, I have this note in my pocket, and I'm all happy. I'm jumping around like a Mexican jumping bean, perhaps. So, uh, it was the creepiest thing ever because I was a little bit of a weird kid. I still am now because I'm a retard. Let's just go with that. And so after class, I wait for her to walk out the doorway. I didn't know where her locker was. So what I did is I followed her to her locker, waited for her to open it, and I'm sitting there like on the other side of the hallway, just like trying to look all trying to look all unsuspicious, like just sitting there and maybe waiting for a friend or something. And when she walks away from the locker, I'm like, okay, that's her locker. I will stick the note into there. And so what I did is I folded it up and I stuck it through one of the little vents in the locker, and I walked away with high hopes. And it took her quite a while to respond, if I remember. It took about a week. And the worst part is this was on a Monday. And it was about third hour or it was about lunchtime when I popped open my locker and a note fell onto the carpet floor of the hallway where my locker was. And I was pretty nervous. I wasn't really excited. It was mainly just maybe it was more of a mix of anxiety and excitement. So a little bit of both. And so I pick up this note, I put it up to my heart, and I say, "Please, Lord, let her say yes." And keep in mind, this was junior high. This was no way you should date anybody. Okay, if you're young and you're listening to this, just wait until high school. Don't do it in junior high. It's It's weird. It's really weird. You may be yelling at me into the mic. I can hear your keyboard clacking. It's, screw you, Calmoho. I can date whatever girl I want because I like her and she like me back. I know that's great for you guys. Just wait until high school. All right, you don't know. I don't know. Okay, and I open it up. I open up this note, and it's basically just a giant no, friend zone, and at the end of the note, she just says, "I'd like to dance at the next dance next time." So, I wasn't really sad. I wasn't really happy. I was more in the middle. I was like, well, I'm kind of glad that I don't have to deal with a woman, and I'm kind of sad that I don't have to deal with a woman. You see what I'm saying here? And I'm not saying women are a hard thing to deal with. I mean, I bet it is. I don't know where I'm going with this, but just some of us don't know how to speak or uh, what's the word? Um, Handle, I guess. I was trying to think of a more clever word because this is a podcast and I need to talk cleverly, but we don't know how to really uh, handle a woman's feelings, how to give them gifts. People like me being an oppressed gamer in the society of people. So then I just told all my friends I got friend zoned, and obviously they all laughed at me. So there's that. And then eighth grade year, this was a completely different girl I liked, and it was eighth grade. I think I just said that, didn't I? Wow, I'm great at this. She was in my English class, approximately fifth hour, fourth hour, somewhere around there. And I liked this girl. She was really nice. I sat right next to her. She was one of the only girls that would actually try to make conversation with me. So I was like, this is a nice chick. I want to date this lady. She's a nice one. So, um, I didn't write a note this time. This time I went a little bit different. I don't want to install an update from Apple. Thank you very much. So I went from a different approach. I was like, okay, the last time I did this, it didn't go so well. I wrote a note. I wrote a note. Written a note. Wrote a note. Written note. Wrote. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah. So I didn't want to write a note. I decided to get some perfume instead. So my mom, being the nice woman she is, picked up some Bed Bath and Beyond perfume. It was it was near the Christmas time. It was about the end of November, and I picked up. Well, my mother, bless you, she picked up some Christmas scented perfume. So I about 6 hour the next day, I I sat down at my desk, patiently waiting for her to come in, and she did. And I was wearing a sweater, and I had it in my pocket. It was in my jacket pocket, like like if you have a hoodie and it's got the pocket on the front. That's where it was at. So she was just sitting there talking to one of her friends. I'm not joking. I'm just laughing at how pathetic this was. So I, I tapped her on the shoulder, and she turned around to me. She said, "Oh, hi, what's up?" And I didn't say anything, but I went, "Ta-da," with the perfume in my hand. And she said, "Oh, who's that for?" And I said, "It's for you." And she instantly got a face of instant shock, like she didn't know what to say. And it wasn't a good kind of shock to, like, oh, like when you ask somebody to marry, and like when you ask somebody to marry you and they're shocked and they're crying and they say yes. She did not want to say yes. This was the exact opposite of yes. And she said, "Oh, how nice." And I said, "Well, when I found this, I thought of you." And I realized that that's kind of a rude remark, because when you give somebody perfume, that implies that somebody stinks when you give them something to freshen them up. So I think uh, yeah, I'm guessing she didn't like me after that. And then her friend, she said, "If you don't want a perfume, I'll take them." So at least she was trying to help out, but and nothing else happened after that. Literally, nothing progressed. I'm pretty sure she threw away the perfume, and we kind of just brushed it off, and we don't really talk about it now. Every time I see her, we don't talk about that. And this one this one goes back a little bit farther. This was in 6th grade, still junior high, and when we get into junior high here in our small town of Idaho, some small town in Idaho, we in junior high we have these dances, that go with the themes. There's a Halloween dance. When I had junior high, there was a Halloween dance, a Christmas dance, I think there was an Easter dance, or it was just called a spring, and then we had a Valentine's Day one. And we were practicing dancing for because when you're in the 6th grade, you just barely learn to slow dance with a woman, and in and they made it a rule when I got in the 6th grade is you couldn't say no to anybody when they asked you for a dance. You danced with multiple people because that's just how smart the junior high was, and when somebody asked you to dance, you could not say no. You had to dance with them because apparently one year they had some kid crying in the bathroom, shoving his mouth with toilet paper. I'm not exaggerating either. That her words, not mine. So we're in this classroom practicing dancing with these girls, and this one. I can't believe you just broke into here while I was doing my podcast. Okay, yeah, I was asking this girl to dance, and so she was probably she was probably the most popular girl in junior high at that time. I haven't seen her since like junior high, 8th grade. I don't know if she moved. I'm pretty sure she did because I haven't seen anything of her. So I asked this girl, I said, "Would you like to dance?" I was trying to be charming. I was trying to be a nice boy. And she instantly gave me a disgusted look. She's around this group of friends, by the way. She gave me a disgusted look and started chuckling. And all of her friends around her started chuckling as well. And I made a completely straight face and I turned around and walked the opposite direction because I I can't imagine how cringy that was, and it was very bad. It was terrible. Like I don't think like if you saw this on a videotape, you would not believe how bad this was. It was like straight out of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That's how easily I can describe it. That's literally just a scene out of Diary of the Wimpy Kid, and it was really bad. But that's all the stories I have of me trying to ask out a girl, and I bring this up is because I was uh, what why did I bring this up? And it's like one of those things you think about, like you're about to go to sleep and you think of one of the worst moments of all time in your mind, and you sit there for like 2 hours thinking like that was that was probably the worst time of my life. I never want to experience that again. And that's what happened with these. It's because they were bad moments. They were not fun moments in my life that I enjoyed. They were very cringy, and I never want to experience something like that again. So I usually buy body pillows instead of asking out real women instead. So there's that. What you ladies should know when a man asks you out or asks you to a dance. Um, First of all, they may come up to you and act confident, like 100% confident, like they've got this. In their mind, they're not. They are 100% not confident. They are thinking all kinds of things. What if she says no? What if she says yes? What do we do if she does say yes? Does she even like me? If she does like me, will she ask me out of pity? Will she say yes out of pity, or will she say no like I'm pathetic? That's legit that's what's going through my mind whenever I see whenever any man sees a woman, and that's every guy. I don't care who you are. That's every single one of you men out there that are oppressed in the society of gamers. That didn't make sense. But yeah, there's that. And second of all, ladies, this is kind of a tip to you. Um, I guess it kind of depends on the man, but if this is a kid who likes you and he asks you to a dance, perhaps show him some pity. Like, don't make a disgust face and walk away and pretend like he's the biggest loser on campus because he went he the preparation to ask somebody out on a date is it's very stressful because this is somebody you like. This is somebody you want to spend a lot of time with. This is somebody you want to love per se, not too much, but at least I guess you don't have to make it a permanent relationship is what I'm going to say. But at least go to the dance with him, and if he tries to make a move, I don't know what you ladies probably have your own method, but at least take him to a dance. Tell him it was fun. Tell him you had a great time. Just don't drop him. That's the worst. That's the worst feeling. The guys, a nibba can relate. Raise your hand. My hand is raised. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. Just show some pity. I don't know if I really have another tip because I don't know that much. But from my experience, I kind of wanted to shout out the guys and the ladies. All right. And when I guess I'll kind of do it from another perspective. When you are asked to a dance, or a date per se, and it's your first time being asked, like somebody took the time out of their day to make you a poster to home. Very glad I haven't gotten one of those posters. A little sorry on that cutout right there. What I meant to say was a poster that said, "Will you Goku to prom with me?" So yeah, Camtasia Studio sucks. You will. There are two feelings that you will most likely have. There's the one where it's a good feeling, it's a good rush, it's a good emotion. You're like, wow, somebody actually likes me and they want to go to a dance and dance with me. That's wonderful. And then there's the second one where it's somebody you would prefer not to go with at all. And that feeling, it's a bit much because that one, you see, both feelings will give you anxiety. Let me tell you that first. The good feeling, you will be happy, but you will be anxious as to how it will go out. You're wondering if you're gonna screw up or you're gonna basically kick yourself in the nuts on this dance or date. And on the bad one, and on the bad side, being asked by a person you don't like at all, you're not attracted to that person at all, and you would not want to go anywhere with that person. You are anxious about going to said dance or date with that person because you don't want to say no. You don't want to look like a very negative person. You don't want to look like a bad person. And if you did say no, from a guy's, she would all go to her friends and she would say, "Oh, he said no. I'm crying. This can't be real. I am shaking. He did not just tell me no." And then her squad will come up and pull up to you with Glocks and pop caps in your booty. For guys, I'm not sure what happens if a girl says no to a guy. I think the guy just goes to his homies and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's okay, bro. She dummy retarded. I can't believe she didn't like you. It's okay, man. There are plenty of her seagulls in the goal." I'm pretty sure that's how it goes because my friends didn't help me out because I was a lonely boy and I didn't like to tell people that I asked out a person. Those 3 times that I actually did. So the bad way, I think, is what I'm trying to continue on, is that you're most likely anxious about how it will go and how there will be and if there will be a relationship, or you may be thinking of a way to sabotage the day completely so she can so she forgets about you. Don't do that. Make it at least somewhat decent, because this person that you probably don't like at all, she went through the effort of asking you out, even though you don't like her at all. She likes you, so at least make it a pleasant experience, because she went through the effort of asking you. I'm probably repeating myself a lot. I don't remember because I'm not good at recording. But make it a pleasant experience. Don't be a jerk and make it a bad date. Don't do that. That's bad. Okay? But I think that's really all I have to say. But love, it's a weird thing. It's something that keeps you up at night, whether it's a girl you're obsessing with, or it's your anime waifu #Ochako. It's something that one needs in life in order to live a happy life, whether it not be a relationship love, but maybe a love from your family or love from a friend. No homo, though. Love is a weird thing. It's something that you want when you're in high school and you're kind of obsessed over it, especially if you watched Your Name, because after you're done watching that, you just wish, goodness gracious, I wish that were me. If you're from either person's perspective, you kind of wish you had that kind of story, but you're not. There's just a lot of dust in this room. If you're going to ask out somebody, give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, it's too bad, And if it's somebody you really liked, trust me, I've been through it. It's too bad. It wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to be, you know what I'm saying? And as I said before, there's plenty of other seagulls on the bay. This one may have denied you, but, because she didn't have it. But, you always, after that bad experience, you're just thinking, man, there must be nobody that likes me. No, there's probably somebody else in your general vicinity that says the same things that you do, that have the same thoughts, and you two can relate. So, the conclusion, what I'm saying is, always give it a shot, and don't deny yourself, and I need to stop repeating myself. So, this has been the CALMO Conversations podcast. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and don't forget that I want pictures of Spider-Man. Love you, fellas.